Hello and welcome back. So in previous lecture we talked about basic preventions against phishing attacks over email. Now let's talk about a little bit more detailed prevention and how we can actually approach the phishing attacks from a cybersecurity perspective. So the previous video showed how we can prevent, or how we can, better to say, recognize those attacks, but right now let's see what we can do once we recognize those attacks. So there are a couple of things that we can do, especially with phishing websites, but let's start off with emails first. So first of all, we already showed how we can send a fake email in the previous lecture, but I assume most of you won't really have Kali Linux or Linux at all, so what you can use instead is you can use this website right here, emkei.cz. Here you just input the information and the email that you want to send, and this will send an email to your target email address from any email that you want. So here you can type any name whatsoever. It can be a random name. This can be a random email address. For example, if the attacker was trying to phish for PayPal, they would input the PayPal email address right here. The to section goes to which email you want to send it to. We have the subject and we have the content. There are also some advanced settings, but they are not of interest to us. So an attacker can use this website, for example, to send an email, and the email can actually match to the exact email address from PayPal. You can give it a try, type in something right here and send it to your email address. Now, the thing about this is that in many cases, this will finish in the spam folder. Now, sometimes it won't, but in many cases, it will finish in spam folder. So if you do not see it, just go to your spam folder on your email account and you should see the email that you sent to yourself. There you can inspect the details, see from who you got this email, and the information should match with the information that you specified right here. So how can you analyze this? Well, there's one tool that I recommend for analyzing emails like that, on which you're not sure whether they are phishing or not. You can use this tool right here, Message Header Analyzer. Just copy the headers of your email, which you should find simply by right-clicking on your email and copying headers, and paste them right here. This tool will analyze those headers and you will be able to see from where exactly was that email sent, and whether it was truly sent from PayPal servers or from somewhere else. Now here's a little task. Try to find this website in the headers of your email. If you do manage to find it, that will be a really good indication that what you got was a fake email and that you should not input any details whatsoever. So I recommend using this tool, and if you want to test it out with a fake email, you can send it with this website right here. Nonetheless, let's move on from emails. We saw how we can prevent them. We saw how we can recognize which are fake and which are not. And we also mentioned this a little bit more advanced method of analyzing emails to figure out where they came from. Now let's move on to the websites. Now before I talk about how you can recognize a phishing website, I recommend you watch this video. It explains why antiviruses can sometimes be really good in prevention against phishing. So in this particular video, it's only 2 minutes long, it's by Kaspersky, which is a famous antivirus vendor, and it explains how their antivirus software can prevent a phishing attack. Or it pretty much demonstrates how it does it. And that would lead us to the first thing. A good antivirus will most likely be able to catch a phishing attack, even if you don't. So having a good antivirus is number one thing to do in case you're afraid of being a target of a phishing attack. But we will talk more about antiviruses later in the course. For now on, let's talk about how we can manually check whether a site is phishing or not. So what I have right here is the official PayPal website. So this is not a fake PayPal. And we can see that by checking out the domain name. This leads us to our first thing in prevention against phishing, if you're manually checking the website, always first check the domain that you are logging into. If it has one different letter, or if it has more letters than it should have, or if it completely spells something else, then it's 99% a phishing attack. For example, if there was a site PayPal with 2 L's at the end.com, you might not be able to notice it if you don't check out the domain, and you would type in your details, but that would be a phishing URL. Another thing to keep an eye on, which we most likely covered before, is to check whether the site is HTTPS or HTTP. Now, usually phishing sites will be HTTP, but this is not a must. Sometimes you will have phishing websites that are also running HTTPS and that have this lock right here. The third thing is same with the email. Double check for any errors on the page. It could be spelling errors, it could be logo errors, it could pretty much be anything that might give away that this is a phishing page. And for more advanced people, you can analyze websites with a tool called burpsuit. Now this is the burpsuit window. This is a pretty large tool, so we will not be explaining it. If you're interested in how to analyze websites and how to use this tool, I actually cover that in details in the website penetration testing course. But you can have a look at this tool and use it in order to analyze websites in more details. You will have to set it up with your Firefox. It takes a couple of options to do that. And then you can intercept requests and look at their responses, as well as the HTML code and the request and response headers. And why would you want to analyze a phishing website? Well, perhaps you want to poke around and figure out whether the phishing website was set up correctly. Sometimes we also want to catch who is phishing us. And in many cases, phishing websites might be set up incorrectly. They might have some additional files in the web server directory that should not be accessed with. They might even leak the source code of their phishing page, which might lead us back straight to them, and we can figure out where are all of these informations that we input being sent to. Now keep in mind that these websites that usually phish for information such as passwords sometimes block certain IP addresses that usually belong to security vendors in order to not be discovered or taken down. That is usually what allows them to stay up that long, and that is usually also what allows them to not get recognized so easily by some antivirus softwares and security vendors. So let's recap real quick. If you want to analyze an email address, you can send a fake one using this website. You can analyze the headers with this website. And if you want to analyze a phishing page, or you want to figure out whether that page indeed is a phishing page, first thing, check domain. Second thing, check whether it's HTTP or HTTPS. The bigger websites will always be HTTPS no matter what. You will never see PayPal or Facebook over HTTP. Third thing, check for some inconsistencies within the page, such as spelling errors or any type of errors that might indicate a phishing attack. Step number 4, if you want to analyze more into the website, you can use tools like burpsuit to analyze every packet that you send to this website and every response that you get back. And sometimes if the phishing website is set up improperly, you might be able to figure out what its source code is and where its details are being sent to, therefore being able to catch the person that's trying to phish you. Okay, so these are pretty simple stuff. Of course, everything is simple besides this burpsuit tool. It will take some time to get used to it if you decide that you want to use this tool. But nonetheless, I do advise you to take a look at it, since it will be helpful sometimes, especially when you're dealing with websites a lot. Nonetheless, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.